When I saw that $347 credit card bill and realised my own sister had been the one spending my money, I never expected the person who had hurt me most wasn't Emma, but my mother. Hi everyone, I'm Madison, 28 years old, and I work as a software engineer here in San Francisco. If you've ever felt like you were the unfavoured child in your family, make sure to subscribe because you're definitely not alone in this. By the end of this story, you'll see why sometimes setting boundaries with family isn't just helpful, it's absolutely necessary. Let me take you back to when this pattern first started. Growing up, my mum always made it crystal clear that Emma and I weren't treated the same way. Emma was 3 years younger, and according to my mother, she was the pretty one, the charming one, the one who would go places in life. Me, I was just the smart one, and in my family being smart was somehow less valuable than being pretty. I still remember my 16th birthday like it was yesterday. Emma had gotten this huge Sweet 16 party the year before. We're talking about a rented venue, a DJ, probably 50 kids from school, the works. When my turn came around, I got a grocery store sheet cake and dinner at Applebee's with just our immediate family. When I asked why I couldn't have a party like Emma's, my mum said, "Madison, you're more of a quiet type. Emma's social. She needs those experiences." Even when I got into Stanford on a full academic scholarship, something that should have been a huge family celebration, my mum's reaction was lukewarm at best. "That's nice, honey," she said, barely looking up from helping Emma pick out a homecoming dress. "Emma doesn't need to focus so much on school anyway. She'll marry well." That comment stuck with me for years. While I was busting my tail in engineering classes, working part-time jobs, and building a career, Emma was encouraged to focus on her appearance and social life. The message was clear. I was expected to provide for myself, while Emma was expected to be provided for. The pattern continued through college. When I graduated summa cum laude and landed my first job at a tech startup, my family's reaction was polite. When Emma dropped out of community college after one semester to pursue influencer life, my mum was supportive. "She's finding her path," she'd say. "Not everyone needs a traditional career." But the moment that really opened my eyes happened when I bought my first house at 26. I was so proud. A 2-bedroom craftsman in Oakland that I'd saved for 3 years to afford. I planned this whole housewarming party, sent invitations, bought food for 20 people. My mum called the morning of the party. "I can't make it today, Madison. Emma just broke up with Trevor and she's really torn up about it. I need to stay here and take care of her." "Mum, this is my housewarming. I've been planning this for weeks." "Honey, you're strong. You'll be fine. Emma really needs me right now." I hung up the phone and looked around at the house I'd worked so hard for, at the food I'd prepared, at the life I'd built completely on my own. That's when it hit me. I wasn't a daughter in this family. I was a backup plan. I was the responsible one who didn't need attention, didn't need celebration, didn't need anything because I was strong and independent. Emma showed up to my housewarming party 3 hours late, still crying about her breakup, and somehow managed to make the entire event about her drama. My mum called her 5 times during the party to check on her. She didn't call me once to congratulate me on my house. Fast forward to this past September. I'm 28 now, doing well in my career, making six figures, and I thought I'd found some peace with the family dynamics. I kept my distance, maintained polite relationships, and focused on building my own life. I was proud of my financial independence and the stability I'd created for myself. Then I got my credit card statement. I always check my statements carefully. Growing up without much money made me pretty vigilant about tracking expenses. So when I saw charges totaling $3,747 that I definitely hadn't made, my stomach dropped. Sephora, $847, Nordstrom, Hunties and 200, some boutique I'd never heard of, $650, a spa in Marin County, $550. My first thought was fraud. Someone had stolen my card information. I was about to call the bank when something made me pause. The Sephora charge was at the location near Emma's apartment. The spa was one she'd mentioned wanting to try. A horrible suspicion started forming in my mind. I drove to my mum's house where Emma still lived, and I checked the security camera footage on my phone. Yes, I'd installed cameras after a break-in scare a few years back. There it was, clear as day, Emma using my credit card at the kitchen counter, probably ordering things online. She'd apparently memorised my card number from some previous time when I'd let her use it for something small. My hands were shaking as I called her. "Emma, we need to talk. I know you used my credit card." There was a long pause. Then, in that casual tone that had infuriated me since childhood, "Oh, that. Yeah, I was going to tell you. I needed some things for job interviews and stuff. You make good money now, so I figured you wouldn't mind." "I wouldn't mind?" "Emma, that's over $3,000. Come on, Maddie. You live in that expensive apartment. You drive a nice car. What's $3,000 to you?" The entitlement in her voice was breathtaking. But what came next was worse. "When are you going to pay me back?" "Pay you back?" she laughed. "We're sisters. Family doesn't charge family. Besides, you never had to help with Mum's expenses or anything growing up. Consider it back payment." I hung up the phone, my mind reeling. Back payment? For what? For being the responsible one? For not being the favourite? But I knew this wasn't going to end with Emma. I had to tell my mum. "Mum, Emma used my credit card without permission. She spent over $3,000. I expected outrage. I expected her to demand Emma pay me back immediately. Instead, I got something much worse. "Madison, you know Emma's been struggling to find work. She's been really stressed about interviews and trying to get her life together. You're doing so well now. Can't you help your sister out?" "Help her out? Mum, she stole from me." "Don't be so dramatic. She's family. And honestly, you've been so focused on your career. Maybe this is a good opportunity to reconnect with Emma and show some sisterly support." I felt like I'd been slapped. Show support by letting her steal from me? "Madison, you make six figures now. This isn't going to break you. Emma is struggling, and instead of being compassionate, you're being selfish." Selfish. There it was. The word that had followed me my entire life whenever I didn't immediately sacrifice for Emma's benefit. I want her to pay me back, Mom. "Oh, Madison, you're really going to make your little sister pay you back? That's pretty cold, even for you. Emma is the child I worry about most. You've always been able to take care of yourself. Don't make this harder for her than it already is." I hung up the phone and sat in my apartment, staring at the credit card statement. $3,247. but it wasn't really about the money anymore. It was about 30 years of being treated like my feelings, my boundaries, my financial security didn't matter because I was the strong one. The pattern became glaringly obvious after that phone call. Thanksgiving was coming up, and for the first time in years, I wasn't invited to the family dinner. Emma's still feeling really sensitive about the whole credit card thing, my mum explained when I called to ask about plans. She doesn't want to be around people who make her feel bad about herself right now. Maybe it's better if you skip this year. Christmas shopping season arrived, and my mum called with a familiar request. What are you getting Emma for Christmas? I was thinking maybe something nice from that Sephora store she likes. Or maybe some of those expensive skincare products she's been wanting. What is Emma getting me? I asked. Long pause. Well, honey, you know Emma's still looking for work. She can't really afford gifts right now, but I can afford to buy her expensive gifts. Madison, you're being petty. Even the family photos told the story. I started paying attention to my mum's social media posts. Every family gathering, every casual dinner, every fun day with my girls, I was either not invited or positioned in a way that made it easy to crop me out later. The photos that made it to Facebook were always just my beautiful daughters, but somehow I was cut off at the edge, or standing behind someone, or conveniently blocked by a menu. It was like being erased in real time. The final straw came in early December. Emma had landed a part-time retail job, and my mum was treating it like she'd been promoted to CEO. I'm so proud of Emma, she gushed over the phone. She's really turning her life around. Maybe now you two can have a better relationship. That's great, Mum. Does this mean she can start paying me back? Madison? Really? She just started working. She needs time to get on her feet. Besides, she's been helping me around the house, so I think she's contributing plenty. Contributing plenty. Emma was contributing by living rent-free at 25 while working 15 hours a week at Forever 21. While I was supposed to just write off $3,000 because family. That night, I sat in my apartment and did something I'd never done before. I made a list. Not just of the credit card charges, but of everything I'd bought for my family over the past 3 years. The 65-inch TV I'd gotten them for Christmas 2 years ago, $2,800. The new washer and dryer when theirs broke, $1,600. The stainless steel refrigerator for my mum's kitchen remodel, $2,200. Emma's laptop when she started community college, $800. The jewellery I'd bought my mum for her birthday and Mother's Day over 3 years, $3,400. The total was staggering, over $15,000 in 3 years. $15,000 to a family that treated me like an obligation rather than a daughter. I stared at that number and felt something shift inside me. For 28 years, I'd been playing by their rules. I'd been the understanding one, the responsible one, the one who gave and never asked for anything in return. And what had it gotten me? A family that saw me as a bank account with legs. I thought about Emma, probably at home right now, using the laptop I'd bought her, watching the TV I'd paid for, wearing clothes she'd bought with my stolen money. I thought about my mum sleeping in a house filled with things I'd purchased, while telling me I was selfish for wanting my own money back. That's when I made the decision that would change everything. I was done being the family ATM. If they wanted to treat me like an outsider, then I would act like one. And if they thought they could keep the benefits of having me as family while treating me like garbage, they were about to learn otherwise. I pulled out my phone and called my best friend Jessica, who happened to be a lawyer. Jess, I need to ask you something. If I bought something with my own money and gave it to someone, but they're treating me badly, can I take it back? Legally speaking, if you can prove you purchased something and it was a gift, it gets complicated. But if you can show it was a loan or conditional gift, you might have grounds. Why? What's going on? I told her everything. The credit card, the family dynamics, the years of being treated like a second-class family member. Jessica listened without interrupting, and when I finished, she was quiet for a long moment. Madison, what you're describing sounds like financial abuse. They're using your guilt and family obligation to exploit you financially while giving you nothing in return emotionally. So what can I do? Well, you could sue for the credit card charges. That's clear theft. As for the other stuff, gifts are tricky, but if you could prove they were conditional on maintaining a family relationship that they've essentially terminated, what if I just took my stuff back? If you can prove you bought it and you're not breaking and entering, then technically you're just reclaiming your property. But Madison, are you sure you want to go nuclear like that? I looked around my apartment, my peaceful, drama-free apartment where no one yelled at me, manipulated me, or made me feel guilty for existing. Jessica, I think I've been trying to maintain a relationship that doesn't actually exist. They want my money, not me. What are you thinking? I'm thinking Christmas is coming up and they're going to expect gifts from me while treating me like garbage. Maybe it's time they learned what Christmas morning looks like without their personal ATM. If you're serious about this, I'll help you. But you need to be prepared for this to permanently change your relationship with your family. I thought about being excluded from Thanksgiving. I thought about my mum telling me I was selfish for wanting my stolen money back. I thought about 28 years of coming second to Emma in everything. Jessica, I don't think there's much of a relationship left to damage. That night I started planning what I would later refer to as Operation Christmas Recovery. I researched the legal implications, made lists of everything I'd purchased, and gathered every receipt I could find. I'd kept good records over the years, partly because of my engineering background, partly because growing up with financial instability had made me obsessive about documentation. If my family wanted to treat me like I wasn't really part of the family, then maybe it was time to stop acting like one. And if they thought they could keep all the financial benefits of having me around while treating me like dirt, they were about to get a very expensive lesson in consequences. The plan was simple. Wait until they went Christmas shopping on December 23rd, then reclaim everything I'd purchased with my own money. Let them come home to empty spaces where my generosity used to be. Let them explain to Emma why her laptop was gone, why they were watching a small TV again, why the kitchen felt so empty. But most importantly, let them understand what their lives actually looked like without me in them. Because I was about to show them the difference between having a daughter and having a bank account. And that difference was going to cost them exactly what they'd taken from me. Everything. December 23rd arrived with that crisp Bay Area winter air that always made everything feel sharper, more real. I'd been tracking my family's routine for weeks, and I knew they'd be gone from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m, hitting the last-minute Christmas sales at Stonestown Galleria. Emma had posted about it on Instagram 3 days earlier. Last-minute Christmas shopping with Mom. Someone didn't plan ahead, LOL. Jessica pulled up to my apartment at noon in her Honda Pilot, followed by the small moving truck I'd rented. She was wearing her lawyer face, the expression she got when she was about to do something that required absolute precision. "You sure about this?" she asked one more time as we loaded the dollies and moving straps into the truck. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. I had my spare key to my mum's house, the one I'd had since high school for emergencies. Well, this felt like an emergency intervention to save my own sanity and financial security. We arrived at the house at 2 p.m. The neighbourhood was quiet, most people either at work or out shopping. Mum's car was gone, Emma's beat-up Honda nowhere to be seen. Perfect. I stood on the front porch for a moment, looking at the house I'd grown up in. The house where I'd learned I wasn't the favourite. The house filled with things I'd bought, trying to earn love that was apparently not for sale. "Let's do this," I said, sliding the key into the lock. Walking into that living room felt surreal. There was the 65-inch Samsung TV dominating the wall, $2,047.99, including tax, purchased December 15th, 2021. I still had the receipt. Below it sat the soundbar I'd added 6 months later when Mum complained the audio wasn't clear enough. Another $400. Jessica whistled low. "Damn, Madison, you really went all out for them." "Yeah, well, I was still trying to buy my way into being the favourite daughter back then." We started with the TV. It took both of us and careful manoeuvring to get it off the wall mount and onto the dolly. As we wheeled it toward the door, I felt this weird mix of sadness and liberation. This wasn't just a TV I was taking. It was 3 years of Christmas mornings where Emma got to unwrap presents while sitting in front of something I'd provided. Next was the kitchen. The stainless steel refrigerator was a beast to move, but the rental truck came with a ramp and proper equipment. As we disconnected it, I found myself remembering the day I'd bought it. Mum had been so excited, posting pictures on Facebook about her kitchen upgrade without mentioning who'd paid for it. "Madison," Jessica said as we manoeuvred the fridge onto the dolly, "your mum has been living like a queen off your money." I'm starting to realise that. The washer and dryer were in the garage. I remembered buying these after their old set died during a heatwave 2 summers ago. Emma had been complaining about having to go to the laundromat, so I'd surprised them with a new Whirlpool set. Top of the line, energy efficient, all the bells and whistles. $1,634 total. As we loaded them into the truck, I kept thinking about all the times Emma had complained about doing laundry, never acknowledging that she was using machines her sister had bought. Emma's room was next. Her laptop was sitting on the desk I'd also bought her. A MacBook Pro that I'd gotten when she enrolled in community college. "For school," she'd said. Based on her browser history visible on the screen, she'd been using it mostly for online shopping and social media. I powered it down and packed it carefully in its original box, which I found in her closet. As I did, I noticed the Sephora products scattered across her vanity, products bought with my stolen money, sitting next to makeup brushes I'd given her for her birthday. "This feels weird," Jessica said as we cleared out the desk accessories I'd bought. "Like we're erasing her entire setup." "She erased my bank account," I replied. "This is just balancing the books." The hardest part was my mum's room. The jewellery wasn't worth the most money, but it felt the most personal. The pearl necklace I'd given her for Mother's Day, the diamond earrings for her 50th birthday, the gold bracelet I'd bought when she got promoted at work. Each piece had been carefully chosen, lovingly purchased, given with hope that maybe this time this gift would make her see me the way she saw Emma. As I packed them into their original boxes, I felt like I was packing away years of failed attempts at earning love. By 4:30, the truck was loaded. The house looked empty, not just of my things, but of warmth somehow. The living room felt cavernous without the big TV. The kitchen looked stark and outdated with the old appliances visible where the new ones had been. Emma's room looked like a college dorm after move-out day. I left a note on the kitchen counter, handwritten on my personal stationery. "I have reclaimed the items I purchased with my own money. Copies of all receipts are attached for your records. Since I am not considered a real member of this family, I thought it was inappropriate for me to continue providing for it. Have a Merry Christmas. Madison." I paperclipped the folder of receipts to the note. Every purchase, every receipt, every proof of payment. 3 years of financial generosity documented in black and white. As we drove away, I felt lighter, like I'd been carrying invisible weights for years and had finally set them down. "How do you feel?" Jessica asked as we returned the truck. "Like I just took my life back." At 4:47 p.m, my phone started ringing. Emma's number. I let it go to voicemail, then it rang again and again. By 5:15, I had 17 missed calls from Emma and 12 from my mum. My voicemail was full. I finally listened to the first one from Emma. "Madison, what the fuck? Someone broke into the house. They took everything, the TV, the fridge, everything. I'm calling the police. Call me back now." The panic in her voice was real. She genuinely thought they'd been robbed. It didn't occur to her that someone might take back what was theirs. At 5:33, my mum called. I answered. "Madison, where are you? We've been robbed. They took everything, the TV, the refrigerator, even Emma's laptop. We're at the police station filing a report." "Mum, you weren't robbed." "What do you mean we weren't robbed? Everything's gone." I took my things back. Silence, long dead silence. What?" "I removed the items I purchased from your house. There's a note explaining everything on the kitchen counter." I could hear her breathing heavily. "Madison, you can't just take things back. Those were gifts." "Were they? Because when I asked for my stolen credit card money back, you told me family doesn't charge family. So I'm not charging you. I'm just taking back what's mine." This is crazy. You can't do this to your family." "I'm not doing anything to my family. According to you, I'm not really part of this family anyway. I'm just the ATM who occasionally gets invited to things." In the background, I could hear Emma crying and someone who sounded like a police officer asking questions. "Madison, get back here right now and put everything back." No. You're going to destroy Christmas over money?" "Mum, you destroyed our relationship the minute you told me I was selfish for wanting my stolen money back." I'm just making the situation match reality. At 6:12 p.m, Emma called from Mum's phone. She was hysterical. Madison, please, you can't do this. I need my laptop for job applications. Mom needs the fridge. This is insane. Emma, you needed $3,000 of my money for job interviews too, remember? Funny how needs work. I was going to pay you back. When? You've been working for 3 weeks and haven't mentioned it once. I was saving up. You were saving up? Emma, you work 15 hours a week at retail. At minimum wage, you make about $200 a week before taxes. Even if you saved every penny, it would take you 4 months to pay me back. Were you planning to not eat or pay for gas during that time? Silence. And that's what I thought. Madison, please, I'm sorry about the credit card thing. I'll pay you back, I promise. Just bring everything back. Emma, do you know what you spent my money on? Let me read you the receipts. Fenty Beauty Foundation Set, 89s. Rare Beauty Blush Collection, 156 cents. Glow Recipe Skincare Routine, 240s. Lululemon Sports Bras, 178s. This wasn't job interview stuff, Emma. This was a shopping spree. I needed to feel good about myself for interviews. You needed $650 worth of makeup to feel good about yourself for a part-time retail job. More silence. Bring our stuff back, Madison. This isn't funny anymore. Our stuff. Emma, show me one receipt where you paid for anything that I took. Show me one credit card statement, one bank transfer, one piece of evidence that you contributed financially to any of these purchases. You're my sister. I shouldn't have to pay you back. You're right. You shouldn't have to pay me back. Because I'm not lending you money anymore. Ever. At 7:45 p.m. they came home. I know because my mum called immediately. Madison, we read your note. This is the most vindictive, cruel thing you've ever done. Really? More cruel than stealing someone's credit card? More cruel than telling your daughter she's selfish for wanting her stolen money back? Those were gifts, Madison. You can't take back gifts. Were they gifts, Mum? Because gifts are given out of love, without conditions. But every single one of those gifts came with the condition that I be treated like family. Since you've made it clear I'm not family, they're no longer gifts. You are family. Am I? When was the last time you called just to see how I was doing? When was the last time you celebrated one of my achievements? When was the last time you took my side in any disagreement with Emma? Silence. That's what I thought. Madison, this is about more than money, and you know it. You're absolutely right. This is about 30 years of being treated like a second-class family member who's only valuable for what she can provide financially. That's not true, isn't it? Mom, answer this honestly. If I didn't have money, would you want me around? Madison, that's a horrible thing to say. It's a simple question. If I was struggling financially, would you be encouraging Emma to help me out? Would you be telling her that family doesn't charge family? Long pause. You've always been independent, Madison. You've never needed help. I've never needed help because you never offered it. There's a difference. The next morning, Christmas Eve, Officer Martinez called me. Apparently, they'd convinced my family to file a police report anyway. Ms. Chen, this is Officer Martinez with Oakland PD. We have a report of stolen property that apparently involves you. Officer, I can come down to the station right now with my lawyer and all my receipts if needed. That would be helpful, actually. Your family is pretty upset. Jessica and I met Officer Martinez at the station with 2 folders full of documentation, credit card statements, receipts, bank records, even photos of me giving some of the gifts. Officer Martinez looked through everything carefully while my family sat in chairs nearby, Emma still sniffling dramatically. "Mum," he said finally, "these receipts show that you purchased all of these items with your own funds." "Yes, sir." "And you used your own key to enter the residence?" "Yes, sir. I've had that key since high school." He looked at my mum and Emma. "Ladies, these items legally belong to Ms. Chen. She has proof of purchase and legal access to the residence. She didn't commit any crime." Emma exploded. "But they were gifts. You can't just take back gifts." Officer Martinez looked tired. "Miss, gift law is complex, but generally speaking, if someone can prove they purchased items and the recipients are no longer maintaining the relationship those gifts were based on, reclamation can be legal. This is really a civil matter, not criminal." My mum stood up, her face red with anger. "Madison, I can't believe you're doing this to your family on Christmas." "Mom, I'm not doing anything to my family. I'm just no longer funding people who treat me badly." "Treat you badly? We love you." "Do you? Because love isn't just a word, Mom. It's actions. And your actions have consistently shown that Emma matters more than I do." "That's not true?" "Okay, let's test that. Right now, in front of this police officer, tell Emma she needs to get a second job to pay me back the $3,000 she stole. Tell her that stealing from family is unacceptable and that she needs to make it right." My mum looked at Emma, then back at me. "Madison, she's struggling right now. Maybe we can work out a payment plan or something." "And there it is," I said. "Even now, even with a police officer here documenting that she committed credit card fraud, you won't hold her accountable." Emma finally spoke up. "Madison, can we please just go home and talk about this privately?" "Emma, we are talking about it privately. This is as private as I'm comfortable being with people who steal from me." "I said I was sorry." "No, you didn't. You've never actually apologized. You've made excuses. You've justified it. You've minimized it. But you've never once said, 'I'm sorry I stole your money.'" Emma looked down. "I'm sorry I stole your money. Are you going to pay me back?" I need time. How much time? Give me a date." "I don't know, 6 months?" 6 months? Emma, at your current job, working 15 hours a week, you make about $600 a month after taxes. If you paid me $100 a month, it would take you 30 months to pay me back. But you want 6 months, which means you'd need to pay me $500 a month. That's almost your entire paycheck. I'll get more hours. Or, I said, standing up, you could get the items you bought with my money, return them, and pay me back immediately. I can't return them. I already used the makeup. Then I guess you have a problem. Officer Martinez cleared his throat. Ladies, this really needs to be worked out between you. Ms. Chen, you're legally entitled to your property. There's nothing more we can do here. As we left the police station, my mum grabbed my arm. Madison, please, don't let this ruin Christmas. Come home, we'll put everything back and we can work this out as a family. I looked at her hand on my arm, then at her face. For just a moment, I thought I saw something that might have been genuine regret. Mum, do you understand why I'm hurt? You're hurt because of money? No, Mom, I'm hurt because for 30 years you've treated me like I don't matter. I'm hurt because when someone stole from me, you took their side. I'm hurt because you've never once made Emma apologize to me for anything. But you expect me to apologize for standing up for myself. That's not, I don't, let me ask you something. If Emma had bought me a $3,000 gift and I had stolen money from her to pay for things for myself, what would you have told me to do? My mum was quiet for a long moment. I would have told you to pay her back immediately and apologize. And if I had refused, I would have been very disappointed in you. But when Emma does it to me, I'm supposed to just let it go because family doesn't charge family. I could see the realization dawning in her eyes. The double standard was becoming impossible to ignore. Madison, maybe I handled this wrong. Maybe I did handle this wrong, but can't we fix this? Can't we move past it? I looked at my mom, really looked at her. I saw a woman who had spent 28 years unconsciously favouring one daughter over another, who had trained herself to see my independence as evidence that I didn't need love, rather than evidence that I'd stopped asking for it. Mum, I don't know if we can move past this. This isn't just about the money or even about Emma stealing from me. This is about a lifetime of feeling like I don't matter to you unless I'm useful. You do matter. Do I? Because here's what's going to happen next. You're going to go home and comfort Emma. You're going to tell her that I'm being unreasonable and that you'll help her figure out how to deal with me. You're going to focus on making her feel better about this situation. And me? I'll go home alone on Christmas Eve because standing up for myself makes me the bad guy. My mum opened her mouth to argue, then closed it. Because we both knew I was right. I don't want our relationship to end like this, she said quietly. Then don't let it. Make Emma get a second job and pay me back. Stop treating her like a victim when she's the one who committed fraud. Stop expecting me to subsidize her lifestyle while getting nothing but criticism in return. And if I do that, will you bring the stuff back? I thought about it, really thought about it. Mum, the stuff isn't the point anymore. The stuff was just symptoms of a bigger problem. The problem is that you've created a dynamic where Emma gets everything and I get nothing. And somehow I'm supposed to be grateful for the privilege of funding it. So what do you want? I want to matter. I want my feelings to count. I want to be treated like a daughter, not like an ATM. You are my daughter. Then act like it. Stop making excuses for Emma. Stop expecting me to fix problems I didn't create. Stop treating my success like it means I don't deserve love and support. I could see tears in my mum's eyes. I do love you, Madison. I know I don't show it well, but I do. I believe you love me, Mom, but you don't respect me. And without respect, love just feels like pity. We stood there in the parking lot of the police station on Christmas Eve. 28 years of dysfunction stretched out between us. I wanted to hug her. I wanted to fix this. But I also knew that going back to the old pattern would just teach everyone that my boundaries meant nothing. I'm going home now, I said. When Emma pays me back and genuinely apologizes, not just says sorry because she got caught, but actually acknowledges what she did wrong and why it was wrong, then we can talk about rebuilding our relationship. Madison, wait. Mum, I've been waiting my whole life for you to see me. I'm done waiting. As I drove home that night, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. Not happiness exactly, but peace. That the constant anxiety of trying to earn love from people who had already decided I didn't deserve it was gone. The exhausting effort of trying to be good enough for a family that would never see me as enough was over. My apartment had never felt more like home. I made myself dinner, opened a bottle of wine, and sat on my couch in the quiet. No drama, no guilt trips, no walking on eggshells around Emma's feelings. For the first time in my adult life, I spent Christmas Eve focused on my own peace rather than everyone else's comfort. And it felt like the best gift I'd ever given myself. 6 months later, I'm writing this from the same apartment, still furnished with my own things. Emma never paid me back. She got fired from the retail job after 2 months for showing up late consistently. She's back to being unemployed, and my mum is back to making excuses for her. I've been in therapy, learning about boundaries and family systems, and why some people are designated as the family scapegoat, while others become the golden child. It's been eye-opening and painful and healing all at once. My relationship with my family is different now. We exchange birthday texts. I sent a Mother's Day card, but the days of me being the family bank are over, and so are the days of me accepting crumbs of affection in exchange for financial support. Sometimes people ask me if I regret it, if I miss having a close family, if I think I went too far. Here's what I've learned. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop enabling bad behaviour. Sometimes protecting yourself requires disappointing people who have gotten comfortable disappointing you. And sometimes the cost of keeping the peace is your own self-respect. I learned that being family doesn't give someone the right to take advantage of you. I learned that love without respect isn't really love at all. I learned that setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's survival. Most importantly, I learned that you can't buy love. But you can definitely stop funding your own mistreatment. Have you ever felt like the family scapegoat? Have you ever been expected to give more than you receive just because that's what family does? What would you have done in my situation? Remember this: you deserve to be treated with respect, even by family, especially by family. And if the people in your life only value you for what you can provide, then maybe it's time to stop providing and start protecting yourself instead. Because at the end of the day, the family you choose to keep is more important than the family you happen to be born into. And sometimes choosing yourself is the healthiest choice you can make. If this story resonated with you, subscribe for more stories about standing up for yourself and setting boundaries with difficult people. Because everyone deserves to be valued for who they are, not just what they can give.